I was at a grocery store once and overheard a dad gently correcting his son. The language of the father was colorful, to say the least, so I'll clean it up here. But he was telling his son and correcting his son for grabbing candy off the shelf without asking. And the dad said, we don't just take what we want, son, we ask. The little boy frowned and muttered something, but then he said, but I wanted it. And the dad smiled and said, I know you wanted it, but wanting something doesn't always make it right. That line stuck with me. Wanting something doesn't always make it right. Sometimes we trust God like a child, grabbing what we want, accepting the good things, and then thinking we know better and getting upset when he steps in to correct us. But maybe, just maybe, the correction is the very thing that saves us from ourselves. Can we be honest? I'll be honest. Most of us don't like correction, especially me. Whether it's from a boss, a parent, a friend, or especially from God. It makes us feel uncomfortable, sometimes embarrassed, or even downright angry. But what if correction wasn't rejection? Society tries to tell us that correction is rejection. We correct you because we reject you, and that isn't true. What if it was actually a sign that you're loved and noticed? Today we're going to talk about that, about how we respond when God corrects us and why we shouldn't take it personal, but take it serious. This message isn't about shame, it's about growth, and correction is part of growing. The truth is, God doesn't correct those he's ignoring, he corrects those he's invested in. There's a quote I read once from a preacher, I don't know who, and it kind of stuck with me. God isn't trying to hurt your pride, he's trying to heal your soul. Let's go to the scriptures and talk about this. We'll walk through them slowly together like a conversation, because this is what this is meant to be, really. So Proverbs 3:11-12. I'm using the New Living Translation. I like that translation. My child, don't reject the Lord's discipline, and don't be upset when he corrects you. For the Lord corrects those he loves, just as a father corrects a child in whom he delights. Now, let's just pause there for a second, because you may not really caught some things there. So let's think about it for a second. Don't reject and don't be upset. Why would that even need to be said? Why would God say that? It's because God knows correction doesn't always feel good. It can bruise our ego. But he's saying, I only do this because I love you. I'm not ignoring you. I'm guiding you. It's like a parent who stops a kid from touching a hot stove. Is the kid mad at the moment? Sure, maybe, probably. But it's protection, not punishment. When God corrects us through his word, through consequence, through a quiet conviction in our hearts, whatever it may be, it's not because he's mad. It's because he's deeply invested in who we can become, our human potential, if you will. Well, not human potential, godly potential. Job 5:17 and 18. But consider the joy of those corrected by God. Do not despise the discipline of the Almighty when you sin. And we all sin. For though he wounds, he also bandages. He strikes, but his hands also heal. Now, what a powerful picture that is. God's correction might feel like a wound, but it's a healing wound. Consider like a surgeon. A lot of people and ask the surgeon to remove a dangerous thing. Yes, it hurts. There's pain afterwards. But the thing that's now missing saves. And notice, the healing comes from the same hands that corrected. He's not a God who breaks and walks away. He breaks what's broken in us and then rebuilds it stronger. Let's go to Hebrews. Hebrews 12, 10 and 11. For our earthly fathers disciplined us for a few days, for a few years, doing the best they know how. But God's discipline is always good for us, so that we might share in His holiness. No discipline is enjoyable while it's happening. It's painful, but afterward there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. Did you catch that though? Always good for us. Not sometimes, but always. God's correction isn't random. He's not trying to control us. He's trying to prepare us. It's training, it's shaping, it's soul changing deep. Those that's a Marine knows that when there's a lot of pain being trained as a Marine, but yet when you come out on the other side, everything that you were taught, if it was done right, everything that you were taught is for your own good. It can save you in times of battle. And I love that it says peaceful harvest. That means if you endure the correction, peace will follow. Not just the absence of conflict now. We're not talking about that. We're talking peaceful way of living. So let's see what Psalms has to say. Psalms 94:12. Joyful are those you discipline, Lord, those you teach with your instructions. That's a curveball right there. Joyful? How could discipline be something joyful? Because when you realize it's coming from a place of love, not anger, it becomes something that grounds you instead of wounds you. God's discipline is paired with His instruction. He doesn't say, stop that. He says, here's why you should not do that. Revelation 3:19. I correct and discipline everyone I love. So be diligent and turn from your indifference. Jesus says this directly. He doesn't say, I only bless the people I love. He says, I correct the people I love. He don't say that. I'll repeat that. He don't say, I only give a blessing to the people I love. He says, I correct the people I love. And he tells us to be diligent and to turn correction. And to turn, right? Correction always leads somewhere. It's not just a pause. It's a complete pivot. So next time you feel that tug in your spirit, that little nudge from a word, or that moment where God calls you out, you should really try and remember. It's not easy, but remember, it means he hasn't given up on you and that he loves you. Proverbs 15:31 and 32. If I could find it, but if you listen to constructive criticism, you will be at home among the wise. If you reject discipline, you only harm yourself. But if you listen to correction, you grow in understanding. Sometimes we blame others for our pain. We hardly ever blame ourselves. We always see the bigger picture, we think, but that bigger picture always involves someone else in it. You know, someone else is framed in that picture except us. And they're the reason for our predicament. But this verse reminds us rejecting correction is self-harm. It's not God hurting us. It's us ignoring the very thing that could help us. And listening to correction makes you wise and not just book smart, but life smart. You grow in understanding. You become someone that others can trust and learn from. And that's what we're here, to lead by example. Let me ask you something. I'm asking myself, I've asked this of myself. Has God been trying to get your attention lately? Maybe through something you read, maybe something like this. Maybe you just came across something, and you feel maybe God is trying to get your attention. Maybe through something that didn't go as planned. Sometimes tragedy. Sometimes, there's many things that God can get our attention. Before you brush it off, ask yourself, is God correcting me because he's trying to grow me? And if so, don't resist it. Receive it. Take it to heart. Ponder it. And, try and focus on what you need to do. Remember, the goal isn't shame. It's freedom. The enemy wants to keep you stuck. But correction, that's God saying you don't have to stay there. God is trying to turn a different direction. Here's the beautiful thing. God's correction isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's not a door closing. Think of it it's him grabbing your hand and saying, let's go this way instead. Have you ever had a friend growing up where maybe you were with some people and they were going to do something bad that you probably, if you got caught, you may even serve time or at least have a record. But you got that one friend that says, hey man, let's just go home. And you did. And it turns out that the people that you were with got caught. I was in that situation. And it's nice. That's what God is. God is a friend that grabs you by the arm and says, hey man, let's go home. Let's go a different way. Right? That's what's happening when God is correcting you. So don't take it personal. Take it serious. Because behind every moment of correction is a God who sees you for what you can become and loves you too much to leave you where you are right now. Be teachable, be humble, and above all, encouraged. God corrects the ones he's not giving up on. And that means he's not giving up on you.